Next up, let's talk about the Atlanta Braves. Last year, they won the World Series, so who gives a shit about their regular season record? It was 88-73. All of their studs got hurt or suspended. Not all of them, but the big main players. They traded for 3 outfielders at the deadline that weren't really having good seasons. And then yet, somehow, some way, it all came together and they ran the table and won the World Series. And the window stays open, and I believe it even opens a little more with some of the moves they made and returned from IL players they got. Jake, what happened this offseason?
From the windows to the walls. They lost Freddie Freeman, iconic Brave, all-time Brave, Hall of Fame Brave, Jorge Soler and Jock Peterson. Talk about playoff moments. Jorge Soler, that ball in Houston that's still going. Jock Peterson literally wore pearl necklaces while playing baseball, and so did everyone in the stands, and that was awesome. Christian Pache, he's gone. I think he was in a trade. Drew Smiley, Chris Martin, Stephen Vogt, Adrianza Camargo, your util guys, Rich Rod and Jesse Chavez are gone. Those are some guys. Who came in also, guys? Matt Olson, date my daughter. Big trade, big guy was with him. Kenley Jansen, speaking of big guys, holy crap, he's in Atlanta. Eddie Rosario, he re-signs, another playoff hero for the Braves. Colin Buzzy McHugh, he had an incredible year last year. And how about Kirby Yates? Trying to bounce back after his injury. Manny Pena to back up catch. Alex Dickerson, he might get some ABs. And then a couple util, Phil Gosselin, Brock Holt on some minor league deals. But Matt Olson, Kenley, they brought dudes in after winning it all. Never mind Ronnie, Trev, tell me about the pitching dog.
Update, Brock Holt got granted his release today, so he is not with them anymore.
Bye, Brock.
But that is fine because we can go to this rotation, which is, we keep saying this rotation's nasty. It can be up there with the best in baseball. Sneaky Braves rotation can be up there with the best in baseball. Starting out with Max Fried. Can you have a better season than Max Fried had last year? 304 with the career best 1.087 whip. Oh, yeah. He won his second Gold Glove and his first Silver Slugger and the World Series. Talk about bringing home some hardware. Go Max Fried. And, oh, yeah, you're fucking beautiful, too. Good for you. Right-handed pitcher Charlie Morton, who had like a 3.3 last year. Ion Anderson, who had a 3.5 last year. Husker Yanoa, 4.0 ERA, almost in the threes. I really like that. Kyle Wright, Tucker Davidson also. And then the bullpen, they added Kenley. They got Will Smith. Colin McHugh, who loves Jimmy. Tyler Matzik, AJ Minter. The pitching is stacked here. James, I also really, really love what they're doing with their lineup. Why don't you go ahead and talk to us?
They got Eddie Rosario, one of those moves from last year. Still around. Ozzy Albies.
Wait, he's going to lead off?
Well, that's what they say. Who knows?
Probably in the playoffs.
Probably Acuna when he comes back. Right now, they don't have him in here because he's still technically on the IL. Ozzy Albies, Matt Olson, Young Thick, Austin Riley, Marcel Ozuna, Alex Dickerson, Adam Duvall, Dansby Swanson, Travis d'Arnaud, and yeah, Acuna's on his way.
Send me on my way.
What's the Soroka update?
I just looked that up a little bit, and I didn't get too far. I think it's very touch and go. I mean, double Achilles back-to-back. So brutal. I'll see if I can get a better update. But not looking good. Next summer.
We also have Luke Jackson. Just a little bit of forearm tightness right now, so they don't have him listed with the relievers, but he's going to be there. Same thing with Kirby Yates. Oh, he had Tommy John last year.
Kirby Yates.
I'm not sure where he's going to be, but Luke Jackson will be there at some point this year also. Pretty damn good.
Really damn good.
What's your favorite part about this team, Jake?
My favorite part about this team?
Mine is that they lost Freddie, and the lineup is still very impressive.
Yeah, it's probably
kind of crazy to do.
The high-end talent. I love Matt Olson. Ozzie Albies among second basemen. That's a guy that can win you a silver daisy in the right year. Austin Riley's stats last year are through the roof. Like, if he repeats that, that's nuts. Marcell Ozuna was out last year. Ronald Acuna Jr. was out last year. This team won the World Series. Dansby, contract year or a year away? I mean, this team is stacked. I guess that's my favorite part about this team. This team is stacked everywhere.
Now I have something to ask you, Jake.
Trev's pointing at me.
Okay.
Trev?
Oh, I wanted to answer the question too. Mine
Answer
is
it.
the way they develop pitchers.
Okay.
If you go around and look at who they have, I mean, Max Fried, yeah, he came over from the Padres, but they developed him. Charlie Morton years ago started with Atlanta. I don't know if I'm going to give them development. I don't know. I don't know enough about that situation. But Ion Anderson, Husker Yanoa came over from Minnesota, apparently. They traded for him in July 17, so they developed him. Kyle Wright, Tucker Davidson, all these guys drafted or developed at least by the Braves. I love that. That's how you get ahead.
Jake,
Yeah.
can I ask you something?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. In 2020, we sat down to do TPPs and talk about them. And the Nationals were brought up. And you repeatedly said the hardest thing to do in sports is to repeat. And you are a believer in the World Series hangover.
Man.
How does that affect your thoughts on this Braves team? Because, like we said, some of these guys that were doing the damn thing with them weren't even part of the run.
Exactly.
They're a little fresh.
That's probably the part I love the most. I mean, dude, if I told you a team this offseason added Acuna, Ozuna, Kenley Jansen, Colin McHugh, Matt Olson. I mean, we'll even leave out Olson and Freddie because end of the day, that is what it is. They made big improvements. And these are guys that weren't a part of it. Like Ronald Acuna Jr. is one of these guys that's in the conversations of best player in baseball. He just missed out on a World Series run. Like, you think that dude's not going to be coming in with vengeance? I mean, Ozuna had no idea what was going on with his baseball career. He's back. Like, that guy's going to be coming in with force. If Mike Soroka touches a mound and he looks like Mike Soroka, he was the one on this staff. He was ahead of Fried. And then Fried kind of jumped him because he's been out. The bullpen is like 6 deep, 7 deep, of guys that can pitch you an 8th inning. I love this team. I do think, like what you said, to do it over a year like that, that does wear on you. And this division is really tough. This team is good. They've made additions. I won't bet against the Braves to win the division.
Yes. It's like you went out drinking on Saturday night. We'll compare that to winning the World Series. An excellent Saturday night. Wake up Sunday morning. You're hungover. All you want to do is get a breakfast burrito, sit on the couch, and watch football. But then 2 of your buddies, we'll call them Matt Olson and Ronald Acuna Jr., they come over with a rack. And they say, hey, guess what? Football's starting. Here you go, boys, and toss you a beer. And you're back on the train before you know it. I don't think there's going to be a World Series hangover. You can't be hungover if you keep drinking. These boys are going to keep drinking this year. I love the Braves.
Did you hear? Beautiful. I read an article. I forget where it was about, and it might be hearsay, so maybe I don't even want to talk about it. That there was some resentment over the Braves players that Olson signed a huge extension before even putting on the uniform, and all the Braves are on shitty contracts and have to go fight for arbitration after winning a World Series. Did anyone see any of that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that happens. You're stoked for that guy.
Yeah, I mean, it might just be a bad article.
Who wrote that?
Let me see if I can find it. Braves, Olson, Clubhouse, extension. I really only read The Athletic, so maybe it was there. I don't know. We can talk about something else in the meantime.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there was some weird stuff around Freddie leaving. We've got some Atlanta connects. I don't know. I love Matt Olson. That it's, one in, one out for me. We'll see if they feel that. That's a huge.
The Athletic. Yeah, I really only read The Athletic for baseball news. So, yeah. Oh, it's Ken Rosenthal.
He's a good one.
It's Rosenthal.
I read.
Okay.
I like his
I don't
stuff.
feel bad about sharing it now. It was Ken Rosenthal.
I got to look into that.
He said the Braves' internal dynamics bear watching. Braves clubhouse was rattled by Freddie Freeman's departure, coupled with the signing of Matt Olson to the richest deal in team history before he ever even put on an Atlanta uniform.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's some funny business there. In the Freddie situation. So yeah, it's something you circle. I mean, another thing I believe in sports is winning cures everything. And I think this team is going to win games. And I think if Matt Olson is Matt Olson and he plays Gold Glove defense and that OPS is in the high 8s or the 9s, I think a lot will be forgotten quickly. And we'll see how that dynamic changes. It is intriguing that, he got a bigger contract than Ronnie and Ozzy. Obviously, they bought out some of their RBers and stuff like that. Is Austin Riley? Circle Austin Riley for me. That guy's 25. He just had a monster season for a third baseman. Is that every year? Are we going to take a step back? Does he take a step forward somehow? Like, the Braves have so many dudes on. They have so many potential dudes on this team. Austin Riley could finish top 5 in the MVP this year. Matt Olson could finish top 5 in the MVP this year. Ozzy, probably top 10. Ronald Acuna could win the damn thing. Like, when you start talking about these guys, it's insane. High end, depth, pitching, offense, defense. The Braves do it on every front. They're a wagon.
I'm trying to wrap my head around Kenny's article. I need to read it. So I
just skimmed it. Do you want to hear what's going on?
Yeah, go ahead.
The Braves are one of in the last 11 years, only 2 teams have even sent players to arbitration hearings after winning the World Series. The Braves have Max Fried, Austin Riley, Luke Jackson, Adam Duvall, and Dansby Swanson. All didn't settle, and the Braves are a file and trial team, and trials aren't happening until July. So while they're scrapping and clawing for $250,000 for Max Fried and Austin Riley, $400,000 for Luke Jackson, Duvall and Dansby are fighting over $1 million and $800,000. Matt Olson gets the richest deal in team history. I think human nature does kick in a little bit, Trev, where you're like, what the fuck, guys? Maybe you're not mad at Olson, but you're a little like, we just won you the World Series, but this guy gets all the money and you won't even give me $250,000 and you're going to make me go to trial over it?
I think that you could have some a little bit resentment towards the front office, but that doesn't go into the clubhouse. I mean, in my opinion, the file and trial thing, they know that's how it is. So if you can't come to an agreement, there's a set date and that's it. So, that's something they've talked about with their agents. They know this is a possibility. They know that's how they run their franchise. They don't have to agree with it. They just know that's the way it is. I don't think anyone's mad at Matt Olson. I was thinking maybe like Acuna's making $15 million this year. Olson, I think, is $15 million. He got a big signing bonus as well. Ozzy signed what's looking back now, a really tough contract, 7 years, 35 plus team options. He's a better player than that. But I don't necessarily agree with like the whole, like the clubhouse is going to be a mess because
seems like a battle with the front office more than the clubhouse.
Yeah. More front office. And to your point, like normally I would say, you know what, this is the way they run things and they know, but when you win a World Series, you might want to break off a few like $100 extra K.
You win the World Series, you might want to be like, hey, we're not going to do the file trial thing this year.
Plus, we know their finances.
Yeah.
We've seen the financials. So, I get that. I guess I can see if that's the way the article's framed, then I agree with it.
I think the Braves are good, but last year they weren't good. They lost players. A lot of baseball was like surprised they made a lot of moves at the deadline. We're all wrong. They go up to win the World Series. Do they have to win? Do they have to win the division? Do they have to go out there and win 95 games? in their heads, I mean, they won, 80 something last year and won the World Series. Is the intensity going to be like ratcheted up? Or are they going to be like, we got room? I don't know. But I believe in the hangover effect a little bit, and I believe in the fact that they're like, let's not kill ourselves during the regular season. There's more teams going to the dance this year, and we're going to get there. I have them kind of like being breezy for a little bit and then having to tighten the gears at the end.
Well, Acuna is going to want to get back to the World Series because he's like, dude, I just missed out on that. Are you kidding me? But if you go back in time, James, 2018, first NL East, 90 wins. 2018, first in the NL East, 97 wins. 35 wins in the 60-game season, first in the NL East. Last year, only 88 wins, but they did win the NL East. So I think now winning the division is not enough. And they back-to-back championship series. Obviously, they won the World Series last year. They're one of the teams, I believe, that can fully say it's World Series or bust for us. Other teams that are in playoff contention, they can't really say that. But this team can say World Series or bust. They don't want anything else. Anything below a World Series championship, again, will be a disappointment for them.
And I believe in organizations. The Atlanta Braves are sneaky one of the best organizations in sports. They have been to the playoffs 21 of the past 30 years.
Wow.
This is a really good franchise. I think they're the most talented team. They've got guys sometimes when there's a championship team, they bring in one guy and it's like, hey, Hank's here now and he wants to win. But if you got 25 other guys that got the bling and they got the payday, if Mike Soroka comes back in midseason, we'll see. And they don't need to bank on that. But man, that storyline. Ronnie and Marcel. Matt Olson. And I just think all of the pieces are there. And we did the Mets. They don't have a ton of holes.
I like that they got bullpen help because their bullpen went through hell and they can really, and Luke Jackson's already got arm soreness, and Matzik and Smith, maybe they can give those guys a lighter April or just divvy it up until you find out who your mainstays are. But I like that they went and got McHugh and Kenley, obviously because they're great bullpen pitchers and make it better, but also just having more arms to give these guys that just went through the rigmarole of the playoffs.
McHugh had an incredible season, multiple inning bullpen guy. If that's who Colin McHugh is, what a weapon. Kirby Yates, the last time we saw him have a full season, he had 41 saves and a 1.19 ERA. Kenley Jansen is an all-time MLB closer. They added these guys to a bullpen in the World Series and playoffs that was absolutely electric. I love this team. I think, I don't want to speak for you, Trev. They got to be in the running for your Nostradamus run-it-back pick this year.
100%. I think that this is one of the teams that's favorited to win the World Series. Going back to Kirby Yates, this is one of the deals where they knew he was going to be shelved all year, so they gave him the 2-year with a team option. So they're thinking, their window wide open. This isn't just a 2022 thing. I don't think it's just a 2023 thing. They have a wide window here. So
over under is 90 wins.
There.
90 and a half wins.
90?
Yeah.
My pick is in. I believe in this team. Over.
If I take the over here, that's 4 overs for me in this division.
That's why I flipped my fish.
I took the Phillies over. I don't think all three are going to. What was the Phillies number at?
85.
86, 85.5.
I can't take the under here because I took the Mets over. I believe this team.
I'm taking the Mets under and the Braves over and the Phillies over. I think they all end up around
good teams.
85 to 90. And I'll say that if one team's going to go above, I'll choose the Braves to go slightly above 90. I'm changing my Mets to the under. I think they're all going to be 85 to 90.
James, I wanted to do that, but I feel like I've talked them up so much that I couldn't do it with the Mets. But now that you're here with me, we're holding hands. Yeah. My diamonds dancing hopscotch, we holding hands. Me and you, I think we're gonna reverse the bet.
Yeah.
I got the Mets winning 89 games.
Yeah.
Okay, you got that BBD? Mark me down. I'm taking the over here, under on the Mets.
They're both winning 89 games to get the under and the over.
Now we're talking.
What was theirs? 90.
Oh, Phillies Mets, you're saying?
Whatever I said, it made sense.
Doesn't matter.
Division's going to be a bloodbath.
Braves win 91, Mets win 89, Phillies win 86. Is that even possible?
It's going to be a bloodbath.
Marlins and everyone else die.